So 75.
Wow.
3/4 of the way to 100. Woohoo! Yay, 100. Hi, Pooch Pakuchi here. Wife over there, Star. Together, we're Lovecraft Cocktails. And welcome to Quarantiki number 75. We're going to go a little different direction this evening because more frequently, I seem to be getting the question, hey, can you do drinks that aren't tiki drinks? And, well, yes, I can. We are going to taste some rum because that's how we start these things. And we were lucky enough to be graced with the presence of our friends Dave and Chris, who had been in studio audience a number of weeks back, but they came back. Apparently, they liked us. And they made it even better by bringing rum with them. So they stopped in at a local distillery, relatively local, and picked up some rum, and they were talking about their friends Star and Pooch, and the people at the distillery went, wait, is that the guy that has like all the pins in his hat? And yes. And so they picked us up a bunch of swag from Lion Distilling. And so we now have some Lion rum that we didn't have ahead of time. We have a tasting flight, so we have a small box of tasting bottles, and we have a small bottle itself of their coconut rum. Yum, we're going to try that at some point. Maybe not tonight, but we will try it at some point. And we got a big bottle of their pineapple-infused rum, so the pineapple-flavored rum right here. And we are definitely going to be drinking that. In fact, that is what our toast is going to be this evening. But before we get into the toast, I should tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So we're going to start with one of my wife's favorite cocktails, one that is actually kind of special to me as well. And we are going to take the International Bartenders Association version of that cocktail, and then we are going to explore the family of cocktails from that cocktail that are all members of the International Bartenders Association list of favorite cocktails. So they're divided into like the classics, modern, and traditional, I think. And I think we may in fact have one from each category tonight. I didn't do that much research on it. But the drink we're going to be starting with is the Sidecar. And the classic Sidecar has a sugared rim. And so here is a coupe. And you will see we have a sugared rim on the side here. And you can do the sugared rim in a variety of different ways. What I have is some really, really fine, extra fine sugar here. I just wetted the outside edge of the coupe, of the half of the coupe, with some some lemon juice because, well, I was juicing a bunch of lemons today. And then rolled that coupe in the fine sugar and then knocked off some of the edge. You just sit there and go like this. Because what you don't want to do is get the sugar in the actual cocktail, because if you do that, it will change the balance of the cocktail. So there you go. But that's what we're going to start with, is the Sidecar, and then we're going to go a couple variations off of the Sidecar. And yes, one of those variations will in fact involve rum, because, well, it's us, right?
We have a Colleen and a Bonita.
Colleen, Bonita, hello, welcome everybody. Let's drink a little pineapple rum. What do you think?
Okay.
Okay, so Lion Distilling, we have a pin from Lion Distilling. Oh yes, in fact, their Drink More Rum pin is right there on my hat. Yep. And one of my other hats has their actual gold pin on it, because we like them. They did a rum tasting at Tiki on 18th, and we happened to go there for that. Got a chance to talk with some of the folks there. Had a great time. This was, I think this was definitely in the before times, so it's been quite a while. So we've got Winden Distilling by Bijou Batch, handcrafted pineapple flavored rum. Originally created exclusively for Service Bar, and Service Bar is a pretty well-known bar here in the Washington, D.C. area. They start with their signature spirit, pot-stilled rum, made from Louisiana sugarcane and molasses, infused with golden pineapples for an aromatic, slightly sweet, boldly flavored rum, a true tropical delight.
delight.
It says all natural ingredients and settling may occur. And if you look down here, you probably can't see it, but it's a little cloudy on the bottom. There's definitely sediment in there. You can see that, right, hon?
Yeah.
Significant sediment. All right. So here's here. I'll give you the larger one because, well, you really love pineapple rum.
I do.
So we're going to take a sip here. We also, this is going to be a little strange because we've got pineapple and the scent of the pineapple, and we also have jasmine incense right here. It's pretty darn potent. So it's going to be jasmine and pineapple, which, I don't know about you, I would not think that jasmine and pineapple would be a combination that would go together, but still. Big thanks to Robin and Jason for the incense, by the way. That definitely has much more of the pineapple fruit flavor than, say, the plantation Stiggins.
Yes.
Which has more of the kind of rindy pineapple flavor to it. We do a drink around here called the Stiggins Flip, Stiggins Pineapple Flip. I think this would be good in it. It would be a very different drink, though.
We could try them side by side.
We should at some point, yeah. Because it's in my little black book as drinks that this one loves, so we should do that.
I got a new hat.
She did. It's green, and it has a feather. Feathers in there.
I went to a garage sale. I got a hat.
I hate to say this, she also ended up with another lava lamp.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't work, so it's okay. It's all right. She did not.
It was less than free.
Right? They actually paid her to take it away. Unfortunately, our poor little jellyfish are still not entirely functional. It's still not functional. The water pump seems to be. So we're going to have to get that fixed. We'll see how we do. So Sidecar. That's where we're going to be going. So I remember my father drinking Sidecars on occasion. And probably about the time I first moved to DC with Star, we went to a little restaurant, a very little French bistro, and I ordered a Sidecar. And there was a little gentleman there. It was his restaurant, Eve's Bistro, which is sadly now closed. And he had owned a restaurant in DC that was very, very famous and had decided that was a little too high pressure, moved out to the suburbs, and was just doing a little bistro. And asked what I wanted for a cocktail. And I said, I think I'm in the mood for a Sidecar. And his eyes lit up, and he went back to the bar, and he made this cocktail, and it was fantastic. And he brought it out, and he set it in front of me, and he said, "Thank you. It has been far too long since I've had a chance to make a good Sidecar." And he made a fantastic Sidecar. I'm not sure how well my Sidecar will stack up to his, but we're going to give it a try. So what are we going to do? I'm actually going to do two of these. I'm going to do one for Star and one for me. So I'm going to take this unadulterated coupe. And again, we're just going to take some lemon rind. Okay, I'm just going to run this around. And you can make this as thin a line as you want. You can go as far around the glass as you want. I did a pretty heavy hand with the previous one, mostly because I know my wife's taste in cocktails. She likes them a little on the sweeter side, so I wanted to give her a little more sugar. And if you tap this down just a tad, you'll get a nice sugary crust around the edge. Just like that. See? Yes, I could take a wet rag and go around this and even off the edge down there. And it would look really, really pretty, but I'm not going to. Because I'm not. How's that? All right, so there we go. There's our ultrafine sugar. How did I get ultrafine sugar? I took regular table sugar and I threw it in a blender for a little while. There you go. All right, so what are we going to do? Sidecar. Sidecar, classic proportions. So let me talk about the International Bartenders Association for a moment. So the International Bartenders Association, you can get there directly on the web. They help out with bartenders around the world. They keep track of and keep sort of a posting of the most popular cocktails going around. and have those segmented and have sort of canonical recipes. They foster competitions and that sort of thing where you have to know how to make the cocktail according to the IBA specifications. And for all you Americans that are watching, I'm sad to say they do all of their proportions in metric, so you just have to deal. What we're going to do this evening is a sidecar straight from the IBA website. I've converted the measurements over to English ounces so that I can actually use my jiggers. And here we go. So this is a cognac forward drink. Cognac is the only spirit in this. Okay, there's a liqueur in there as well, but it's the only actual spirit. So we need 1.5 ounces of cognac. 1.5 ounces right there. Now, you could use really anything you want here. You could use any brandy that you want. Cognac is a little more specific, right? Grand Cru de Cognac. Here, I am actually using a formula from 1840. This is Pierre Ferrand, and one of my favorite cognacs to use for cocktails. This is just tremendously good. It's not going to break the bank. You could use, Remy Martin or whatever you happen to have on hand. You can also do variations of this by using other kinds of brandies, like an apple brandy or something along those lines. But here, we're using the dry Pierre Ferrand. Next up is an orange liqueur of some sort. And a lot of recipes specified for triple sec. As long as I'm making this with the Pierre Ferrand cognac, I'm going to go ahead and use the Pierre Ferrand dry curacao, which is going to give it that orange flavor that we want as well. And here, we are going with 3/4 ounce. So that's 1 portion of cognac to a 1/2 portion of your orange spirit of some sort. And then the last is going to be a 1/2 ounce, or excuse me, a 1/2 quart, i.e. in this case 3/4 ounce, of lemon juice, which I have around here somewhere. There we go. I was going to say I squeezed it. I know I've got some. So
We have a good evening from Molly.
Good evening from Molly. Yay! A good evening from an anchored mobile internet port. Oh, all right, cool. So 2 parts cognac, 1 part triple sec, 1 part lemon juice. That's all we're doing. So, 3/4 lemon. And 3/4 of lemon. Ta-da! Simple, easy peasy. 3 ingredients, 2, 1, 1 in the proportions. If some of you are going, wait, this sounds suspiciously like a daiquiri or just a generic sour, you'd be right. This is essentially a cognac sour. All right, what are we going to do with ice? We are going to take 1 large cube, 1 large cube, 1 large cube, and a scoop of smaller cube. Such. And then we will lid this up, but not with these. Those are blender tins. I don't want to use those. So there. And there. All right. Whoa. Whoa, we got there. There we go. What's the seal? Oh. There you go. And that's why when we shake these things, the opening of the seal is facing the bartender, so that if there is a spill, it goes on the bartender and not on the patron, and then the bartenders aren't forced to pay for expensive clothes to get dry cleaned. Okay, so this is just strained directly into the coupe that has been prepared. So I need a strainer, right looking all over for the place for a strainer, and it's right in front of me. There we go. We're just going to use a Hawthorne. Strain that right in. Do the same for the other. So the two cocktails are identical. The only difference here is the amount of sugar on the rim. Same amount of ice, same amount of shaking. Okay, the second one probably has minor amounts more dilution. So the supposition on this cocktail and how it got its name, most of the time, the two major bars that are associated with this, they're a French bar and an English bar, and both of them claim that the reason why it is called a sidecar is because they were serving it to patrons who came in riding in sidecars on the motorcycles in the early 1920s, because that's when this cocktail came into being. It shows up in books as early as 1922. Dale DeGroff, the eminent cocktail historian, says that's maybe apocryphal. It is more likely that the amount of drink that is left in the blender tin after you have poured the cocktail into the coupe was served in a small shot glass off to the side, and that the reserves in your cocktail shaker are kind of commonly referred to as the sidecar. So, and there we go. So regardless of, who you want to believe and what the origins of this name are, what we have here is cognac sour, i.e. a sidecar, with a sidecar. So cheers, my love. Here's to classic IBA cocktails. Bright, tart, kind of dry. You can use the sugar on the rim to get as much or as little sugar as you want in this particular cocktail. Very nice, very nice. Mm-hmm. You can do all sorts of things with this variation. For one thing, you could start by throwing a little bitters in here of any sort that you wanted. The other classic piece that you can do with this, let me reach behind you. And this is just a very simple, you often see it done actually this way, is that they will take express an orange peel over it and or twist that and drop it in the cocktail. Mm-hmm. And that will change the flavor profile just slightly, because the essential oils, you can actually see the cocktail move when you do that. Do that, stick that in there, and then you can try that cocktail and it's going to be just slightly different.
Yeah, just a little bit. So to me, a sidecar, even though I think I really had my first one in New Orleans, to me a sidecar is sitting at the Marble Bar at Arcadiana in the district, which sadly is no longer, and having sidecars there.
Arcadiana is no more. The actual district is still there.
Yes, the district is still there.
Hey, after Saturday, we didn't know, right?
Yeah. Oh, and David and Chris, since you were late, we did our toast with the lion pineapple.
Lion pineapple. Tasty stuff.
Yeah.
I will play with that, actually.
Yeah. And they are changing to Winton.
Are they changing to a different location?
No, Wyndon Distilling.
Oh, the name is changing?
Yeah, the name is changing, because that's the distillers, and they want to stress that they are women-owned and women-run. So they are kind of slowly emphasizing Wyndon Distilling.
Introducing that on the... it's on the label here,
right?
Not on the front label, right. I don't think Wyndon appears anywhere here. It does.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah. But many of us will always know it as Lion, so...
Yep, hopefully they will keep some of the lion logo and that
I think so.
I
I think they're going to be doing more than just the Lion line.
Oh, that would make
So
sense. Right.
Winton Distillery will be the broader.
So if they do like rums and they do all the rums under like the Lion rum,
Right.
and then Wyndham Distilling also does other things, that would make sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Before you run away,
Mm-hmm.
could I ask you to clean out the cocktail shakers over
Mhm.
there for me? So, all right, we got cocktail shows up in early 1920s. Shows up in Henry Craddock's Savoy book when it was first published in 1930, somewhere around there. And this cocktail serves as the basis for a whole bunch of other cocktails. And you can say, well, of course it does, because it's a sour, right? It's for a sour, you typically have spirit, sugar, and citrus, the sour component like lemon or lime juice. In the case of the Sidecar, you're substituting out the sugar component, like a syrup, for a liqueur. Now, you could use any liqueur you wanted. The Sidecar is just classically done with an orange liqueur. You could do other liqueurs. For our next cocktail, though, we are going to swap out the base spirit. So you apply essentially the same formula to this, although we're going to move the ingredient proportions around a little bit. But instead of using cognac, what we're going to do is use gin. And a gin Sidecar, so if you ask for a gin Sidecar, they'll know what you mean. You can also ask for the White Lady. The White Lady is how it is known on the IBA website. It also goes by names like Delilah, and what's the other one? The Chelsea Sidecar is the other name for the second drink. Literally, this is just a Sidecar that is made with gin. There's a caveat here. You wanted to use a London Dry gin, but you don't want to use something that is way juniper forward. Doing that is just going to give you this sort of piney, I'm brushing my teeth with a pine cone kind of flavor, and it will obliterate the subtle notes of the cocktail. So you don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we are going to use a fairly clean gin that we love around here because it's from Islay, which is an island off the coast of Scotland that makes some of our favorite scotches, and that's the Botanist gin, and we're going to go ahead and use that. You can tell there's a little frost on the glass. That's because I tend to store my gins either in the refrigerator or freezer. And that's what we're going to do next, is the White Lady. Star, if you would check, the Sidecar I know is a classic cocktail on IBA. I think the White Lady might actually be a classic as well. I'm not sure if it's classic or traditional. Oh yeah, that's quite tasty. Okay. I'm only going to make one of these.
Unforgettables.
Unforgettables, that's what it is. All right, it's classic, unforgettable, and modern. Is that the three? I'm trying to remember how they split it. In any case, we're going to go with 3/4 ounce of triple sec.
Unforgettables, contemporary classics, and new era.
Because I was totally wrong, right? So it's the unforgettables, new classics, and contemporary classics and modern era, right? And this is an unforgettable, the White Lady.
Correct.
Okay, so there's 3/4 ounce of the triple sec, or in this case, dry curacao, and then we're going to go with only a 1/2 ounce of lemon this time. So we're not splitting it evenly. So 1/2 ounce of lemon.
The Sidecar is also an unforgettable.
Right. She was just mentioning the Sidecar is also one of the unforgettables. The Between the Sheets is not, but I don't remember which one it is. So there's a 1/2 ounce. And then we need a full ounce of gin. A full ounce of gin! Right, so this is a little less, it's a little smaller cocktail, right? So we've got 1.5 ounces that's 2 1/4 ounces, whereas the Sidecar itself that we poured is a 3-ounce cocktail. And we're just doing this for the proportions. You can obviously scale this up. If you wanted to use 2 ounces of gin, you just double the rest of the ingredients. So that'd be 1.5 ounces of triple sec and a full ounce of lemon. Okay. So there we go. We've got gin, triple sec, or curacao, or Cointreau, or whatever orange spirit you want in there, and a ½ ounce of lemon. We're going to add, again, a large cube to this, and then some smaller cubes. Fortunately, my ice scoop I left in here, which means I have ice attached to it. All right. Does it seem like I'm really low-key this evening? It seems like my energy level is really low, so I'm going to have to pop this up some. We'll figure it out. It'll all happen. It'll all be good. So far, so good, right? The sidecar was good? Right?
Yeah.
Again, you can make a sidecar with any form of brandy or cognac that you want to use. I just wouldn't go out and blow major money on an XO cognac for a cocktail. Although I'll blow XO money on rum, but that's just me. Okay, here we go. Same story here. We are just going to use a simple Hawthorne strain directly into a couple of cocktail glasses. We're going to use smaller cocktail glasses this time. We're going to use these little short quasi-martini glasses. So this is another one of those cocktails that shows up in the Savoy cocktail book, circa 1930. The White Lady. This is not, classically, this is not garnished in any way. It is just served straight up like this. Little known fact, unless of course you want to scan around on Wikipedia, which means it's not that little known, is that this was supposedly one of the favorite cocktails of Laurel and Hardy. So if you happen to be a Laurel and Hardy fan, just happen to be old like me, apparently Laurel and Hardy would be drinking these guys, the White Ladies. It's also a nice base for adding other things. So if you wanted to add, say, a bar spoon of creme de menthe, or a bar spoon of creme de cacao, or a bar spoon of maraschino, or anything along those lines, you could do that. I would not add a full bar spoon of absinthe.
No.
Maybe a drop or two, because of course absinthe and gin go very nicely together. So here we go. This is the White Lady, or Delilah.
Mmm. Oh, I like that.
It does not have the same depth of character as the Sidecar does.
No, but it is very yummy.
It's very clean.
Very clean.
Very clean. I know what I want to do. Can I scoot you over just a tad? So in this case, I'm going to go and I'm going to hit up some bitters.
Okay.
And I have these tiki bitter, not tiki, these iki bitters. These are Japanese bitters. So there's some various like seaweedy kind of flavors to this. And I'm just going to add like a drop.
And you're going to change the White Lady into a watery tart?
I don't think it's a watery tart. I'm not lobbing, she's not lobbing a scimitar at me or anything. Right? Wow, this is total overkill. Right? I said just a single drop. This is not a very big cocktail. Right. A full dash would completely overpower this. Yeah, I think there's a little more depth of character there. I like that. You could easily showcase off. You could do a series of these and showcase off your bitters. Not a problem. She's like, yeah, I like mine that.
I'm going to use a different bitter. I'm going to pick a bitter.
Okay. What do you want?
I don't know.
There's the Oaxacan, there's the tiki bitters, there's some plum bitters, tobacco bitters. I don't think that would work. Orange bitters, you could do that. Please don't use rose water. That would be bad.
I'm just picking things and seeing what they're...
Yep.
And I can't read this one.
There's a lemongrass bitters in there somewhere that would be good. Colorado lavender.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
So this is also a really good chance for us to use the mini cocktail bitters bottles that we get from Shaker and Spoon. And this one's just about done. I'm just going to go. Lavender can be so overpowering.
Just a little bitty.
Come on, come on. Bing. White lady. Japanese white lady.
Mm.
I associate lavender with old ladies for some reason. So this is the old white lady, right? Yeah, you could even maybe add maybe one more drop of bitters to each of these, and it would be fine. Not now, because of course I've drunk half of this. So, but that is a quite tasty, quite clean. For those of you that are drinking things like vodka tonics because you don't want the taste of alcohol and you just want the oomph from the alcohol, I guarantee you could drink something like the White Lady and be perfectly happy and just have a little more character to that cocktail for the evening, and you'd be quite happy with that. So here it is. I'm going to suggest stop drinking your vodka and soda and go ahead and drink White Ladies instead. And go ahead, ask the bartender for a couple of drops of some bitters in there of your choice, and let them play around and have some fun with it. I think, again, a little maraschino would not be amiss in this either. You could use whatever. I mean, you could easily play off of things like The Last Word and go with a bar spoon of, say, either Benedictine or Chartreuse or Strega or any of those other kinds of flavor profiles. A little Galliano, turn it into a pale yellow lady, I guess. I don't know. The Galliano and the Strega would make it very yellow. But still, this is a very nice base for a cocktail. This is it's an unassuming cocktail. This is not going to be this is not going to harm anybody. This is not one of those really challenging cocktails out there. For those of you that want a clean, classic cocktail that maybe don't want, say, the full spirit forward of something like an old-fashioned, or don't particularly care for vermouth, for instance, so you're not in that Manhattan Vieux Carré kind of era of things, or Negronis. If you don't like the bitterness of a Negroni, White Lady. White Lady will get you there, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And I think it actually gets better as it gets a little warmer. I know it says serve it as cold as you can, a la kind of martini thing. I don't think so. I think pretty cold, pretty cold, but as it warms up just a hint, I think it's even better. All right, so there's 2 classic cocktails. See, I can do it. I don't actually have to throw 16 ingredients into a cocktail in order to make a good cocktail. And none of these have mango in them or anything else along those lines. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about this. Oh, that's right. Another variation of the White Lady, this is a later variation, it sticks with the same recipe. So you've got gin, you've got lemon juice, and you've got the orange liqueur. But then it adds just a little bit of egg white to get the heavy foam on that. If you're doing a heavy foam, you probably do want to use something like, not like the martini glass, but something more like a coupe. The foam just shows up better, looks better in a coupe than it does in the martini glass. So there you go. But that's a later addition. So Laurel and Hardy were probably not drinking them with egg white added to them. Do not add an egg white to your sidecar. It's just weird if you do that. Yeah, don't. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, the cognac just adds a depth that is a little missing from the gin. And that's the other thing with the White Lady is you can play around with gins with that. And whatever, because it's a good carrier for the gin, it'll give you the flavor profile of the gin without you having to sit there and drink gin straight. So in much the same way that's the way I like to taste rums, well, okay, I like to drink rum straight, but when I'm drinking cocktails and want to taste a variety of rums, I will order daiquiris with different rums. And that way, the rum flavor profile comes through in that balance with other ingredients. Same way with gin and the White Lady is you could go, I've never had that gin before. Let me have that gin in a White Lady. And once you have sort of the understanding of what the flavor profile of the White Lady is, you can easily pick up the differences between the various gins that you're having for that particular evening. Okay, so there we go. We've got 2 classic cocktails knocked out. We got the Sidecar, we got the White Lady, aka the Delilah. And the last cocktail that we're going to do is a cocktail called the Between the Sheets. I know, funny name, but this is still...
it is still an unforgettable.
So all 3 of these are unforgettables. So these are old school buddies. Well, true. Now that I think about it and look at my notes on the board here, so this is the Between the Sheets variation on the Sidecar is actually claimed by 2 different bars. The Berkeley Hotel claims it originates back at 1921, and Harry's New York Bar in London claims it back in the 1930s. So one of the other. There is a third origin story for this drink that says the Between the Sheets got its name because it was a common drink for the French prostitutes in the brothels for treating various ailments, including consumption. I'm not really sure how drinking alcohol is going to help consumption, but maybe it just helps you forget that you have consumption. I don't know. So this again uses cognac as a base, but it actually splits the cognac base with another ingredient, with another spirit base, and that is the one that is near and dear to my heart, which is in fact white rum. And so we are going to go ahead and do that. And for this drink, I don't know, we're just because I don't get to use them very often, I'm going to go ahead and use these cocktail glasses, which have the little tentacle feet on them. Yep, they don't really stand up well on the bar mats because there's tiny little feet here fall through the pegs. So I'm going to have to be a little careful about where I put these cocktails together. So I'm just going to set these glasses over here, scoot some space over on my cutting board. There we go. That's a much more stable platform for those cocktails. Okay, so how do we make these? Well, not that hard. I mean, these are pretty simple things. So there is some discrepancy on the proportions of these cocktails. So if you follow the IBA instructions for this, again, they're in metric, convert them over, you're essentially looking at equal parts of rum, cognac, triple sec, and then not quite a half portion, a little over a half portion of lemon juice. So what we're going to do is a 3/4 ounce of rum, 3/4 ounce of cognac, 3/4 ounce of triple sec, and then a 1/2 ounce of lemon. That's this one. The second one is we're actually going off of a recipe from liquor.com. Love the guys over at liquor.com. And we're going to go a full ounce of the white rum, a full ounce of cognac, a full ounce of the triple sec, and then only a wee 1/4 ounce of the lemon juice, as this is a more modern take on this particular cocktail. So you can see you can play around with proportions depending upon what your patrons' tastes are. My guess is that I'm going to enjoy this one, and Star will enjoy this one, but we'll see how things go. All right, what are we going to use for a white rum? I would for this...
Camilla.
Hey, Camilla, yay! Oh, by the way, just folks, you may or may not have noticed in the background, some things have changed in the background. Nope, we still have our pufferfish up here. We still have the jellyfish over here, which you can only see part of. We have our wondrous lava lamps here and tentacles everywhere. But off in the corner over there, you might notice there is, in fact, yes, I'm sorry, there's a pink flamingo. So it's a pink flamingo and it's a cup holder, right? So you can put a cup in your pink flamingo and you can sit outside in your little pool and your cocktail can float along with you, which is just kind of awesome. It does have a price tag on it, which I'm now going to take off. That's because I'm going to interrupt the broadcast so I can take a price tag off of the Pink Flamingo. But he's gonna.
Your wife went to garage sales.
Yes, wife goes to garage sales. We get cool things. We got the little Pink Flamingo. I've got a new little vase kind of stand here for some of my bar equipment. So just cool beans. We like putting together the bar through stuff that we find, as opposed to doing too much of the hop online and buy. It just seems like it has a little more character. Okay, so I was talking about rum. I would go with something that is pretty clean. You could easily reach for it. It does specify a white rum because you don't want to mess with the color of the cocktail. Although, because we're using cognac, it is going to be lightly brown anyway, so you could get away with a lightly brown rum of some sort. But you want the flavors to be pretty clean with this. So I am going to stay away from even my beloved Plantation 3-Star. I'm certainly not going to use the White Stash. And I am definitely not going to use a Jamaican overproof white rum, because that would just obliterate this cocktail entirely. So what are we going to go with? I was tempted to just reach down and use some of my Bacardi Havana Club. It's really, really clean column still rum. But as I was reaching for that, I realized that on another shelf I have this Baku rum from the Dominican Republic. It's a 3-year aged rum and has some very nice flavored components to it. It's a little on the sweet side, but it'll be fine for this particular cocktail. So we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce with the on the left. So there's the IBA version. And then we're going to go a full ounce on the right. And Liquor.com is taking this recipe from Alan Kurtz, who works for the New York Distilling Company. This is his version of the Between the Sheets. Although I have no idea what cognac he uses, so there is that piece of this. We're going to go follow the same thing. We're going to go 3/4 of an ounce cognac on the left. 3/4 of an ounce, and then we're going to use a full ounce of cognac on the right. There you go, full ounce cognac on the right. Same proportions for the triple sec, or in this case, the Curacao. We're going to go 3/4 of an ounce on the left. 3/4, and then a full ounce over here. So right now, these two are identical, except this is a larger volume. Right? The proportions are exactly the same in these cocktails. It's perfect measures. 1, 1, 1, 3/4, 3/4, or right, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 1, 1, 1. Here's where we differ. We separate out. We're going to go a 1/2 ounce of lemon and a 1/4 ounce of lemon. And the difference is even more pronounced because these are using full ounces and these are only using 3/4 of an ounce. So this should have much more lemon flavor to it. 1/2 ounce lemon. And then, I need a 1/4 ounce, and I can't use that for the 1/4 ounce, but I can use this for the 1/4 ounce. It is really, really hard to eyeball a measurement, particularly something like a 1/4 ounce measure from a jigger that doesn't have that measure line in it. So I would advise don't. Go ahead, measure, be good. Once again, we're going to fall into that. We're going to use one big cube there, scoop of ice. Scoop of ice cubes. Not quite as many as the first one. We want to get that as close to the same as possible. Right, and where'd my other tin go? I used my other tin somewhere. Oh, it's in the sink. Where do that? Okay, there you go. That's one. Second one. There we go. Here's our two variations on the between the sheets, because a little variation between the sheets is never a bad thing. What? Set it. Okay. All of these are very simple in how you do the glass work and that sort of thing. It is just shaken with ice and then strained into your cocktail glass. I have to hold on to this because, well, like I said, these glasses aren't the most stable in the world. All right. There's one. There's the IBA version. And then this one is the Liquor.com version, aka the Alan Kurtz version. Now, the difficulty here, do I have a serving platter or anything? I need a, here, what I can do is this. Just flip this over. Why am I doing that? Well, because I need a flatter surface to hold these guys up.
Is that gonna work?
I think that's going to work.
Okay.
Why do I need to do that? Well, because there is a particular garnish for this cocktail. And that garnish requires flame.
Here is your...
Oh, I can do that. Yeah, would you just set that right there? There we go. There.
That's better.
Yep. So it's a flamed cocktail or orange peel, right? So you go flame, and if this is still good and juicy, come on. It does not want to do its thing. Nope. All right. It's been sitting too long, right? Let's see if we can get it this way. Come here. Wow, this peel wants to just escape all over the place. A little bit of an older orange. Nope, it's still not going to work. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a different orange with a little thicker peel, right? And you are going to just express the oils from that peel through a flame. You'll get a little burnt orange kind of flavor into that cocktail. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this peel, and I have, in fact, kind of expressed some into the other glass, right through that flame. Not effectively, but there we go. All right, so there we have the two. This is the IBA version.
Okay.
This is the Liquor.com version.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a sip of the IBA classic. If you're instructed how to make cocktails in an IBA competition, you better make this one.
Yep.
Except that you better do the garnish properly.
Right.
Oh, I think she likes the regular Sidecar better, doesn't she?
Yeah, I do.
And then we'll go with this one. Oh. Okay, I think the more modern version is actually the better version.
Yes.
I think the taking the lemon all the way down to the 1/4 ounce and beefing everything up from 3/4 of an ounce to a full ounce makes a difference in that cocktail. I really like that version, the Alan Kurtz version out of New York Distilling Company, much better than I do the classic IBA version. Which is not to say that the IBA version is bad. It's just, when you start mucking around with the ingredient proportions, sometimes you wind up with a better cocktail. And again, even though you've now added another ingredient, you've done a split base between the cognac and the rum, there's all sorts of things you can do with this. Same way with the White Lady or the Sidecar. You could add a dash here or there of various other things, a little spritz of absinthe or something like that. And of course, you have an entire world of rum out there that is available to you. So I did say that I didn't want to do, that I did not want to do like a heavy Jamaican overproof rum for the white rum in this, right? But I have Worthy Park Jamaican overproof rum in this spritzer, and I can just go kabam like that. Kabam, you like that? Kabam. And that's going to change this cocktail completely. Yes, indeed. That is just a fine little cocktail there. So there you have it. You have the Sidecar. You have the variation on the Sidecar, which is known as the White Lady, which is essentially just swapping out the cognac that is in the Sidecar with gin. And then you have another Sidecar variation, which basically keeps the same Sidecar components, except that it splits the base of the cognac between cognac and rum. And there are different proportions that one can use. Star has just finished hers. But again, all of these cocktails you can add to, adulterate, modify in ways you wanted. So we just noted the difference between the two between the sheets. That the only thing that they differ on is the proportion of lemon juice in them. And then we decided, we're not so keen on the first version of the Between the Sheets. It's not as good as, say, the modern version. And then I hit it with a dash, a spritz, literally a spritz of an high-octane Jamaican pot still rum, and I quite like this much better. So there you go. There's 3 different cocktails that are classic cocktails that you can play around with, we can play around with here if we want to. And yes, for those of you that are asking, yes, I can make traditional classic cocktails. I don't always have to make tiki cocktails. But I do love my tiki cocktails. It is amazing how just one little spritz will change the character of a cocktail. So there you have it. We are hitting right about an hour time, a little under an hour, in fact.
Because you're not making tiki drinks.
Because I'm not making tiki drinks. I don't have 16 cocktail ingredients. I mean, I could make a Sidecar that just uses rum as its spirit. Wait, Star says yes. Star says, you have time left. Make me a drink, boy.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. All right.
And we do have furniture changes in this room.
Star. Okay, I don't understand the connection here, but Star insists there's a connection, apparently.
No, I'm just things that are going on.
That I have to make another drink because there are furniture changes that have occurred in the bar. So if you've been to our home bar, you will note that... you'll remember that we have a sectional in that home bar, which is sort of blue and green striped, and one of the portions of the sectional actually pulls out to be a sleeper. And we've had this for 8 years, something like that. And we decided things were a little cramped down here, and that blue and green didn't really fit our style, and quite frankly, I don't know that we've ever used the sleeper sofa, maybe once or twice in the entire time we've been here. We do have enough guest rooms that we can generally handle overflow from drinking or other things. And we do have air mattresses. So we got rid of those. We gave them to a wonderful family that's felt ecstatic to get that for very nominal fee. Although I guess it took them a while to find a truck that would take one portion of the sectional was 86 inches long, the other portion was 72 inches long, so 6 feet and 7 feet long. And so they had to find a truck that they could get them in. But apparently they're ecstatically happy to be able to get these things. So they are out of here, and we have a lot more room down here to play around with. And we're trying to figure out what kind of furniture we want to go with. we really like the mid-century American aesthetic, except for the really spindly legs, which is kind of a key ingredient of that aesthetic. So I don't know what we're going to do. We spent a lot of time online this last weekend just looking at pictures of furniture and going, "Ooh, that would work. Oh no, that won't work. Oh, how about this? Oh yeah, have you seen that price tag? Oh yeah, no, that sort of thing." So there might be a nice decorative chaise of some sort in here, and we have another barrel chair that we moved down here, and so it's undergoing changes for the seating, but we'll see how all of that goes. But right now I'm supposed to make a version of the Sidecar that uses rum. And we're back. All right, so the Sidecar, 1.5 ounces of cognac, 3/4 triple sec, 3/4 lemon juice. Okay, so let me go with the lemon juice first. We've got 3/4 of an ounce. Why is it that my energy level really perks up when it's like, oh, great, I'm going to get to play around? Like, here, make something on the fly, Pooch. Okay, I can do that. All right, so there's 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Let's go 3/4 of an ounce dry curacao. What we're actually going to do here is, rather than the pure Sidecar variant, we're going to kind of do a between the sheets thing, except instead of splitting between cognac and rum, we're just going to go with 2 different rums, because that seems to work for me, right? So
Huey looked at the picture from Quarantiki and decided he knows what's missing.
Uh-oh, what's missing?
Tom Servo and Crow.
Hey now! Tom Servo. Great, fine. I see what you think of my little broadcast here. All right, so we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce of white rum. We're going to use the Baku here. And then I want something with a little more character, but I don't want to overpower this. So I am going to go Jamaican, but I'm going to go Jamaican and a little easier on you. So the cognac is being replaced by the Appleton Estate 12-year. Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, some of you may go, dude, you're making a daiquiri with lemon juice. You'd kind of be right, except that the sweet component in this case is being taken up with the orange liqueur as opposed to anything else. And turns out I just can't get away without messing around. So I'm actually going to take a bar spoon of Velvet Falernum and add it to this.
Russ thinks we should do the decor in fainting couches.
Fainting couches? Well, maybe we should get a fainting goat as our mascot then. Would that work?
Lion Rum says we love our dark rum in a Sidecar.
Ooh. Ooh. We have the... we have... I'm like, what do we have? We have several of your rums here. Lion's actually watching. That's kind of cool. Hi.
Show your hat. That you have your pin on.
Oh, show that the pin. I showed earlier that I have the pin on.
I know, but they
right?
weren't watching earlier.
Oh, okay, fine. So there's the Drink More Rum pin that we got from you, right on the front of the hat. There you go, right up front. Because, yeah, I mean, we should all be drinking more rum.
I can reach the bijou.
All right, we're lidding that up. Well, I've already got...
The Sailor's Reserve.
Oh, the Sailor's Reserve. This is... I think this is the first rum we got from them.
I think it is.
It's also 100 proof. Yeah, this one right here. Oh, no, it's not. It's not, because this is the one that we got from that other liquor store in the district whose name I'm talking, Calvert and Woodley.
Calvert and Woodley.
Right. All right, so we're good here. We need to lid this up. What do you think? That little addition, just a single bar spoon of the falernum? I think that'll work. That one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the rum that we used for toasting this evening was, in fact, the Lion's pineapple rum right here, which I was thinking earlier, before I got into this, that actually using the cognac with the pineapple rum would probably make for a really nice cocktail as well. So, okay, we're going to do a coupe. I'm not going to sugar it. Yeah, I'm not going to sugar it. I was like, wait, maybe I should. No, I'm not. Yes, maybe. No, I don't know. We're just going to do this. And then I'm going to grab a shot glass here. And I'm going to taste it and make sure that this is actually drinkable, right? Nope, it's that's awful. That's a horrible cocktail that should never be served. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I was thinking. That's just absolutely horrid. Nobody should be forced to drink this cocktail. So I of course will take it upon myself to finish this off so that humanity is protected from the awfulness that is this cocktail. What?
I need to try it to test you. I do not believe you.
You what? Why would you not believe your husband? I mean,
because I've met you.
Well, okay, there's that.
That's yummy.
I mean, there is part of me that says, shouldn't I just use the lime juice with that instead and make it much more like a daiquiri? But I think in this case, actually, so normally lime and rum is a better combination. I agree. I understand. In this case, I think the lemon is a little better here because it allows this balance of the two rums to shine through a little more. The lemon comes through as a bright, tart, upfront flavor and then goes away, and it melds into this orangey, rummy kind of flavor throughout the rest of the drink. This is quite tasty, actually. I completely lied just so that I could actually have some of my cocktails. So, hun, if you would like some of the White Lady or my previous Sidecar, they are over here. I will be happy to be drinking this, which, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this, but it's yummy.
Andrea says that sounds yummy.
Yeah, that is. The Baku combined with the Appleton, yeah. That's a very nice combination there.
I'm going to steal your Sidecar.
I'm not surprised. I could probably also kick this up a notch by either adding a little tiki bitters to it or doing a spritz of the overproof. But then I start to blunder dangerously into like actual tiki territory, right? So if I were to reach over, I don't know, grab some El Guapo Polynesian Kiss bitters, and I'll just do a single dash of those. If I were to do that, I can smell those bitters, right? And then just back up a bit and just do a quick spritz. I missed, right?
Yeah.
Total miss.
There you go.
Okay, I think that's pretty close. That's close enough. I'm not also going to add a mist of absinthe to it. That would be too much. But I can smell the Worthy Park coming off the bar mat right now. Mm. You want to try the completely awful cocktail that nobody should ever try? Yes. Well, what do you know? Okay, now we've hit the hour mark because Star made me make another cocktail. So there you go. You got the Sidecar, you got the White Lady, you got the Between the Sheets, and you've got whatever this thing is called that's yummy. You can't walk into a bar and go, hey, order me that thing that's yummy. That's not going to work.
Make me a Sidecar with rum.
Make me a Sidecar with rum. That would work. They'll probably make you a Between the Sheets in that case because they'll split the base. But this is just takes the cognac completely out and splits the base between two rums. Again, feel free to play around with the rums. Okay, I get it. Not everybody has all of the rums that I have here, but yeah, this could be. You could even do this with say
Yummy rummy car.
rummy car, yeah, the clown car, right? How many rums do you want to put in this? You could make this a clown car drink, right? I was actually thinking a rum agricole would be really nice in this. Maybe a rum agricole and cognac would work really well, but you want to use not a particularly young rum agricole. I was thinking something like the VSOP or the XO from Clement would be very nice, or rum JM would be very, very nice in here. Don't use a Clarin or something else along those lines. It will completely overpower this cocktail. But there you go. We got 4 cocktails in this evening. We're hitting right about an hour. That's pretty much it for Quarantiki. We made it through without a drop, so that's pretty awesome. And I still do not have a signature sign-off line, but we'll come up with it at some point. We just keep forgetting to actually spend any time during the week thinking about it and pouring forth over various Lovecraftian stories like we actually should do. So anyway, we will talk to you next week. Well, we will cross the 3/4 of a century threshold, and we will enter into Quarantiki number 76.